Now call the business session of the November 7, 2023 meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. All council members are present. Welcome to our guests and visitors. We provide an opportunity for the public to address the city council on any agenda item or during the hearing of visitors portion of the agenda. On the items other than public hearings, speakers will be allotted 1 3-minute presentation, regardless of the number of agenda items the speaker wishes to address. If you're here to speak and have not filled out a registration card, please see the city secretary staff at the registration table outside of the auditorium so that staff can contact you if necessary. If you have handouts, please let us know at the beginning of your presentation, and staff will distribute those to council. And if you're unable to approach the podium due to physical limitations, a microphone is available to be brought to you. Will you please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our first item is to consider the minutes of the October 17th, 2023 special city council meeting and the regular city council meeting. These minutes were provided to you in your packet. Are there any corrections? No. If there aren't any corrections, these minutes will stand approved as submitted. And the next item is some proclamations. The first proclamation I will be making is to the Wichita and affiliated tribes, and I would ask President Terry Parton to meet me at the podium, please. I'm going to start with this proclamation, and then my thought is that we would have our council and both groups come, and we can get on stage right here, and we'll take a picture all together after the proclamation. I'll let you share a few words if you'd like to after I read the proclamation as well. But from the bottom of my heart, sincere welcome to Waco. We are so grateful that you are here in our city, visiting with us now. We hope that you're having a meaningful visit, and it's certainly meaningful that your group is here with us. And with that, I'll read this proclamation. I, Dylan Meek, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Waco, do hereby proclaim November 7th, 2023 as Wichita and Affiliated Tribes Day in the city of Waco, and urge the people of Waco to join with the city council, city staff, and me in extending a warm welcome and hand of friendship to President Terry Parton and members of the tribal delegation. President Parton of the Wichita and Affiliated Tribes and delegation of 11 tribal leaders and elders are visiting Waco from November 5th through the 9th of 2023. The goal of this visit is to cultivate mutual understanding, connections, and new partnerships in Waco, especially in the areas of culture, education, agriculture, and business. The Wichita and Affiliated Tribes are a federally recognized indigenous group. Their ancestors have lived in the Central and Southern Plains since prehistoric times and now are headquartered in Oklahoma. The tribe is governed by President Parton and an executive committee elected to 4-year terms by the enrolled tribal members. The Wichita and Affiliated Tribes include direct descendants of those indigenous to the Waco area. This will be the first official visit by the tribal leaders and elders of the tribe since 1912 and the largest delegation to visit Waco for a generation. Creative Waco has coordinated the host committee for this visit and includes representatives from the City of Waco, Baylor University, Historic Waco Foundation, the Hunger Relief Farm, the Taylor Museum, Waco Tours, and several Waco representatives with indigenous heritage. In testimony whereof and witness my hand in the seal of the City of Waco, the 7th day of November, AD 2023. Thank you.
On behalf of the Wichita and Affiliated Tribes and all of our Wichita people that came with us this week, I just want to thank everybody for all the hospitality, for hosting us this week. We have had great experiences. We got to meet with Baylor and Dr. Livingstone today, and we will continue our meetings and our experiences this week over the next 2 days. And we just really want to thank everybody, especially Fiona. I just really want to thank Fiona and Trey from Baylor that's been driving us around. So we've had a great time. And so we hope that we make this at least an annual and have a presence here in Waco. It's really important to us and to learn more about our people in this area. So thank you very much. Appreciate you.
It's my honor. Yep.
Thank you.
We're committed to that annual visit, and history matters, culture matters, and we definitely embrace that in this community, so look forward to that continuing on.
Thank you very much.
So why don't we have everybody come up to the stage with us now, and we will take a picture with our council as well.
Yes, we did.
Y'all come on this side. Ready? Ready, center?
Yep, you're good. Wait, don't be on.
I'm the slowest photographer.
Like that.
Got it. Mayor, you got to do something behind me.
I can't.
The other proclamation? Sir. What had happened was, right? Like so.
I believe Christy Perkins, Susan Kraus, and Armando Galinda are going to meet me down here at the podium. All right. I, Dylan Meek, by the virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Waco, do hereby proclaim November 2023 as Diabetes Awareness Month in the city of Waco, and encourage all citizens to join with the city council, city staff, and me in recognizing the seriousness of diabetes. Let us unite as a community to support those living with diabetes while encouraging education and the promotion of a healthy lifestyle. Diabetes is a disease that can cause devastating complications such as heart disease, stroke, kidney failure, and vision loss. Over 34 million people in the United States, including 2.7 million Texans, are living with diabetes. Diabetes Awareness Month is observed every November, and it is an annual event to boost awareness about the disease and those affected by it, while raising awareness about the risk factors, symptoms, and the types of diabetes. Diabetes is the 7th leading cause of death and one of the leading causes of diabetes in the United States. For the millions of Texans who are currently at risk, this is the time to take control of the possible risk factors by scheduling a visit with a healthcare provider and creating a plan for a healthy lifestyle that incorporates diet and exercise. Until a cure is found, let us fight back against diabetes through research, education, and advocacy. In testimony whereof, witness my hand in the seal of the city of Waco this 7th day of November, 2023. Thank you.
I just want to thank everyone, mayor, city councilmen, and women for allowing us to make this proclamation possible, along with our Live Well Waco coalition team. A lot of people are affected by diabetes, millions of people, including my mom, who has battled diabetes for 20 years. So this is my passion, advocating for this disease. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you, guys. All right, the first public hearing we have tonight is public hearing 2023-920.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. This is a public hearing to receive comments on the application of Josefina Torres, a City of Waco employee, for a deferred forgivable loan in an amount not to exceed $75,475.46 for the rehabilitation and lead abatement assistance of a home located at 2500 Trice Avenue in Waco, Texas. This loan is being funded by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development Community Development Block Grant Program and the Lead Hazard Control Program. Ms. Torres works in the city's Parks and Recreations Department. Ms. Torres does not work in a decision-making capacity relating to the applicants for this program. Mrs. Torres' income does not exceed 80% of the median income of the City of Waco, McLennan County, dedicated by family size. The home is located within the city limits of Waco, Texas. This disclosure is being made in accordance with the requirements of the Code of Federal Regulations, Title 24, Section 92, 356D1, and Section 570.611D12. This assistance is being provided in order to further the city's housing goals to improve the city's aged housing stock and create desirable neighborhoods.
Are there any questions for staff? We will open a public hearing for comment. Is there anyone here who would like to speak on this item? If not, I'll close the public hearing and I'll ask for a motion.
Move.
Second. Second, any discussion? Please poll the council.
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Aye.
Holmes,
Aye.
Porterud,
Yes.
Ewing, Meek.
Yes, that motion carries. Next, we'll move to public hearing 2023-921, and I do know that an interpreter has been requested for this item and believe that we will move forward with that assistance. Is that person,
Mr. here, Clint.
I'm not sure. I don't see him.
no, I believe a language interpreter, is that correct? Yeah, that's what our sign interpreter was clarifying. So a language interpreter. All right, so we'll proceed, and Clint and our interpreter will move forward.
So I think maybe it might make the most sense for the interpreter to sit at the table. I don't know if Gus could make one of those microphones live so that she can repeat what the applicant needs to hear what Clint's saying as well. Okay.
Can we ask if the applicant's here? I'm not sure.
Is the applicant here?
We might not need it.
Okay. Is there anyone here or present that has requested an interpreter? If the applicant has requested for an interpreter, just because it's being recorded on television for public purposes, I would like to move forward with an interpreter if that's possible.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider a resolution
A los miembros del público, yo soy el director del consejo
regarding
representando, perdón, I'm sorry, representando la ciudad de Waco.
regarding an appeal of a denied open-air vending permit renewal application.
Petición para la cancelación de nación de un aire acondicionado
For Luis Gonzalez, doing business as Troncas Taqueria Number 2, located at 3828 Parkwood Street.
Para Luis González, haciendo negocio como Las Trancas, ubicado en, I'm sorry, what was the address?
3828 Parkwood Street.
3828 Parkwood, calle Parkwood.
The open-air vending permit renewal application was denied by city staff on October 2nd, 2023.
El permiso de renovar la venta del establecimiento fue declinado el día
Due to the application not including the written support of all residential neighbors,
por la denegación de una petición de los vecinos alrededor del barrio.
within 200 feet of the open-air vending business, which is a requirement of city code.
Que alrededor de 200 pies que requiere la ciudad que tenga en esa área.
City council has the option to approve, disapprove, or approve with conditions the application.
El cónyuge del consejería de la ciudad tiene la autoridad de aprobar o negar estos permisos.
Thank you.
Are there any questions for staff? We'll open a public hearing for comments. Is there anyone here to speak on this item? If not, we will close the public hearing, and I would ask for a motion.
I've just got a couple clarifying questions in terms of approving with conditions.
Okay.
I would like to add conditions around implementing at the expense of the business the signage as requested by the resident that wrote in opposition, as well as implementing conditions around the cleanliness of the lot and surrounding area. I would imagine specific to what is existing in code for our open air vending permits, but making sure that's enforced.
What I hear you saying is, and I'm looking at the comment card, that you would like to add a condition that the applicant add a sign asking the customers not to litter and not to interact with the dogs of their neighbors or something like that?
That's correct. Yeah.
And then also, in addition to that, that you would like to add a condition that the lot on which the food truck is located and maybe, I don't know, whatever, a certain number of lots over, that they maintain it free from litter from the establishment?
Yeah, I would say litter and debris from the establishment.
Yeah, and we
Didn't
can,
she have on there also, that they not be allowed to harass their dogs?
That's, yeah, we included that in the signage.
I didn't hear that.
I would say not to only have the sign, but to the effect of the sign, you know.
Yeah.
If people are ignoring the sign, I'm not sure the sign does that much.
I
You know
know.
what I'm saying?
Those would be the conditions that I would like, and I'm open to council adding on to that. But for a point of clarification, with these conditions in place, if we move forward with the approval of the appeal with these conditions, if the resident in question finds that these conditions are being broken or not being upheld, what is the process for reporting and confirmation by city staff to then revoke the permit?
So, and Clint, please speak up if you disagree, but just like with any other violation, the neighbor would call code enforcement, who would...
Or use the MyWaco app?
Oh, yes, of course, yes, you're right. And would make a complaint about the issue, and if code enforcement verified it, they could move to revoke the permit. They could revoke the permit, and then the applicant could appeal if they disagreed.
I think my only thing with that is I would like it to be, like, if there's a way to have, this specific permit flagged for, sort of something that if this person calls and says this isn't right, we want to check on it, and the language of they could revoke the permit, I would like it to be, like the permit gets revoked if they're not in line with this. I understand you probably have to have certain things in there, but as far as the colloquial understanding, if you
Right,
will.
so I think what you're saying is, so if the code enforcement officer, and that probably is just the way I worded it, not the way, if the code enforcement officer found that the conditions were being violated, they shall revoke the permit. That's how it is anyway, and so that's probably me misspeaking.
No, that's great. Well, that's how I feel about it. Like I said, open to comments and concerns from other council members if there are any. But
I have one other concern.
Please.
Excuse me, Mayor. I noticed in the pictures that y'all showed us, the fence from the business to the resident was kind of low. I don't know if we could put on there maybe a taller fence.
do we have those
that would-
pictures?
I don't know whose fence it
The
is.
property owner's fence. In the note, it mentions we have had a fence damage that was repaired by the restaurant upon us notifying them of the damage in the note. So I'd imagine it's the owner's fence and the restaurant has previously paid to have it repaired.
Sounds like it.
But the picture shows that it's not really high. I think, see how low it looks? I think maybe.
Looks like a privacy fence, a 6-foot
Well,
privacy
I know,
fence.
but I'm saying we should have we should ask for a taller fence, which might obliterate some of the harassing of the dogs and also a little more privacy to the neighbor and litter. I don't know, that's just my thinking. What do y'all think?
That may put a burden on the neighbor to have to build a
Well,
higher fence.
Well, that's true.
know what
Put
I'm
a
saying?
button. Yeah. If the fence belongs to the neighbor.
It sounds like it does.
Okay, well.
And
Okay,
the neighbor
I agree.
not like their fence, I think what we might consider doing is letting the record show that this has to be renewed within a year, I believe. Yes. And so next year, perhaps, when this comes up for renewal, there could be, if the neighbor has concern over the fence, then we can engage in a discussion with them. Then I think that I hear what you're saying. I mean, oftentimes when Starbucks came in, we put special attention to how the fence between Starbucks and the neighborhood would, the height and the quality to ensure that there's kind of a separation between commercial and residential. But not knowing whose fence this is, or even if the neighbors would want that, I'm okay with just letting the record show that next year we could do that as well, if we wanted to then.
Mayor, I hate to interrupt, but we were just informed that the applicant has arrived, and I know you've closed the public hearing, so you don't have to reopen it, but I wanted you to be aware that if council were to so choose to do so, you can.
Yep, let's reopen the public hearing, and I'll call the applicant to the podium.
¿Quería usted hablar con el consejo?
Going forward, as council and all of staff to pause after their statements and allow for the interpreter to respond.
Yes, my name is Luis Gonzalez.
Soy dueño de la taquería Las Trancas número 2 que está en la Bosque 3824 Parkwood.
I am the owner of the Las Trancas that is at 3828 Parkwood.
Y yo nomás quiero decir que tengo ya 15 años en ese lugar.
I've been there 15 years.
No he tenido complaints, o sea, no había tenido problemas hasta ahora con la firma del señor que no me la quiso dar.
I have not had any complaints until this last time that they did not want to accept my renewal.
Yo nomás quería avisar que estoy dispuesto a hacer lo que el vecino necesita para que no causarle problemas en el lugar.
I am able to do whatever it takes, so I won't have problems with the neighbor, and I'll do whatever it takes so I can get approved or reopened.
Es todo.
That is all.
Sir, really quick. And will you provide interpretation for me on this, please? The reason why you're here tonight
La razón por qué está usted aquí hoy
is because a neighbor next door to you
es porque un vecino a un lado de usted
did not sign approval for this, but we are considering that approval.
firmó que no le renuevan el permiso
Sí.
y nosotros estamos considerando darle ese permiso. Yes.
Jennifer, would you do me a favor, since you articulated them last time? I don't know if you've taken notes, and I could ask Councilmember Ewing to do this alternatively. But would you outline the conditions that we've listed so far? Am I putting you on the spot?
Yeah, I do. And if the interpreter would please just interpret what the mayor just said.
Jennifer, por favor, ¿puedes subrayar lo que hemos aconsejado hace rato cuando estábamos hablando de lo que se va a hacer?
Councilmember Ewing?
Con el miembro de consejos es I'm sorry, what was the name?
Ewing.
Ewing.
Requested 2 conditions.
Tiene 2 requisitos o 2 condiciones
Be added to the permit.
que se añade al permiso.
The first condition would be
La primera condición sería
that the applicant adds a sign
el aplicante asignado
asking his patrons not to litter,
que sus patriarcas no avienten basura
and to not interact with dogs or animals of neighboring property owners.
y que no se estén intercambiando entre los animales o ¿cómo se dice? Los perros que están alrededor del vecino. Perdón, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. And the second condition
Y la segunda condición
is that the applicant keep the property where the food truck is located
y que el aplicante no que mantenga la troca de comida donde debe de estar,
free from litter,
que no haya basura,
as well as neighboring properties.
libre de basura y alrededor de los vecinos, la propiedad de los vecinos. Yes.
Sir, are those 2 acceptable conditions to you?
Señores, ¿estos son 2 cosas aceptables para usted?
Sí.
Yes.
Would you be willing to construct a taller fence along the property line?
¿Usted está dispuesto de construir una defensa más alta en la propiedad, la línea de propiedad?
Hace 5 meses yo la construí.
5 months ago,
Tiene 8 pies, como
I
7
can-
pies de alto.
I constructed one. It's about 7 feet tall.
Are there any other conditions that council is interested in applying to this permit?
¿Habría más condiciones que el ayuntamiento quisiera discutir en estos momentos? No. No.
Are there any more questions for the applicant?
¿Hay otras preguntas para el aplicante?
Nope.
No.
Thank you, sir. You can be seated.
Gracias. Puede tomar asiento.
We will close the public hearing, and I will ask for a motion.
Move for approval of the appeal with the conditions, and Jen, help me out here. Do I need to read
You
the
could just say
conditions?
outlined by Jennifer.
Okay. Move for approval of the appeal with the conditions outlined by City Attorney Ritchie.
Adelante con la aprobación de las siente las condiciones que se hicieron.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
¿Alguna discusión?
I would just say that this is a one-year permit.
Voy a decir que este es un permiso de 1 año.
So to the applicant,
Para el aplicante,
you can remain seated, it's fine.
puede seguir sentado, está bien.
Please keep these conditions in mind
Por favor, mantenga estas condiciones en mente
so that you will get your permit next year.
para que usted pueda obtener su permiso para el año que entra.
And thank you for doing business in Waco.
Y gracias por hacer negocio en Waco.
Please pull the council.
Bearfield,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Holmes,
Aye.
Borderoux,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Meek.
Yes, that motion carries, and we'll move to public hearing 2023-922. Thank you so much for being here to help interpret tonight.
Thank you.
And Renee, can you come out and help provide any assistance needed? Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
And ask him if he understood what happened here
Yep.
tonight.
That's right.
Señor Luis, ¿sí supo lo que pasó hoy en esta tarde? Yes.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, providing that the Code of Ordinances be amended by revising Section 28247 and Chapter 28 zoning of said code, providing that the zoning map shall be changed so that certain property described as lots A11 and C12, Block G, the Laura Nations Edition, known as 3000 Robinson Drive, shall be changed from R1B district classification and become and be designated an O3 district classification, providing for penalties, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and finally determining the meeting in which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. By a vote of 6-1, the Plan Commission recommended disapproval of the request based on the following finding. The existing R1B zoning is more compatible with the adjacent single-family properties than the proposed O3 zoning. Pursuant to state law and the zoning ordinance, if an application fails to receive a favorable report and recommendation by the Plan Commission, it shall not be approved except for by a 3/4 vote of all the members of City Council. In this case, the Plan Commission did not give favorable recommendation. Therefore, a 3/4 City Council vote is required for approval of this request.
Any questions for staff? I will open a public hearing for comment, and the first card I have tonight is Joanna McLennan. I might be mispronouncing that. Good evening.
I'm here to speak on the rezoning of my property and what I'm trying to rezone it to, which is going to be an event center. And I noticed that everything in that area is pretty commercial. Everything around it is commercial. There's like maybe one house that kind of sits, maybe two houses that sit in between my lot. And next to my lot on down the street are other commercial buildings, and there's commercial buildings across the street. I own a commercial building shortly down the street. I've been there for 19 and a half years, and I sit between neighbors, and I've never had a problem with any neighbor. And so I'm not too for sure why there's maybe a misunderstanding about why the event center can't be there. It's approved for single-family living, and I've talked to engineers, and I can actually put 8 homes there that will be with single families living there, and there will be 3 people to a home, and they'll be there 24 hours a day versus the event center only being open on the weekends. So I would maybe think that there would be more issues with having 8 single-family homes with all of those people versus having one party.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here to speak on this item? If not, we'll close the public hearing, and I'll ask for a motion.
I'm wanting to support the Plan Commission's findings of disapproval. So that is my motion, Jennifer. Did I say that right?
You're moving to disapprove, yes, ma'am.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
And my apologies, somebody refresh what, why Plan Commission's deny?
Can you come to the podium, please? Refresh us.
So at the Plan Commission hearing, the neighbor that has a single-family home next to it came and spoke in opposition to it. And I think there was concerns about the incompatibility with that residential house next door.
And what's the distance?
It's probably within less than 50 feet. It's the adjacent next-door neighbor.
Because I don't think there were any photos in here.
It'd be neat.
Right,
Yeah,
Clint?
it's right there, on our picture there. That's not in our packet. I didn't see it. Is it?
In that area that is where that there's cars, I'm assuming that's commercial business?
Yeah, page 138.
I'm just clarifying, Councilmember, do you still have a question, or I'm not trying to rush you, I just wanted to.
No, I'm just trying to get the juxtaposition. So it's commercial to what I'm looking at to my left, and then those residentials behind it on Madison.
I think on the map here on the screen.
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
So on this map, it would be Madison, which is the right side, and those are residences, and then what the neighbors that are protesting are either in front of it or directly behind it?
If you're looking at the property from Robinson Drive, if you're standing in Robinson Drive looking at the property, it's on the right-hand side.
Right-hand side.
Yeah. And then there's houses on either side of it, and then there's some vacant lots, and then you get to the commercial. The property that backs up to the back of it, that's an apartment complex.
Okay. And their concern was noise?
The neighbor's concern that they raised is that it's right adjacent to their property, and they were concerned about just the impacts of commercial use right next to a residential property.
And these are when you're speaking of the neighbors, you're speaking of these similarly narrow lots to the left and right?
Correct.
That are the ones that are speaking out against it?
It was just the one neighbor.
Just the one, sorry.
And I can't say what I want to say.
I mean, to me, I used to drive down Robinson Road twice a day, every day for 3 years, and I know that it's mostly commercial. This is a pocket of residential, and so when we convert R1B to a commercial use, I mean, to me, we do that with some frequency, but when we do it, we always pay attention first to see if there's neighborhood opposition, and if there's a next door neighbor living there that doesn't want an event center next door, that's a pretty determining factor. I know we didn't hear from that person today, but it was convincing enough to the Plan Commission to carry it 6-1, so that's the reason for my seconding the motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Please poll the council.
Bearfield.
No.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye.
Porterud.
Yes.
Ewing.
Yes.
Meek.
No, that motion does carry. Next, we'll move to public hearing 2023-923.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, providing that the Code of Ordinances be amended by revising Section 28-247 and Chapter 28 zoning of said code, providing that the zoning map shall be changed so that certain properties described as lots D1 and E1, Block 13 of the Chamberlain and Taylor Edition, known as 1116 and 1122, North 4th Street, shall be changed from R2 district classification and become and be designated into O3 district classification, providing for penalties, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and finding and determining the meeting in which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. By a vote of 9-0, Plan Commission recommended approval of the zone change based on the following findings. One, the proposed zoning is keeping with the land use component of the comprehensive plan, the near north side master plan and the Imagine Waco plan for greater downtown. 2, the public infrastructure is adequate to provide for uses allowed in O3. 3, the property meets all the area and width requirements for O3 zoning. And 4, the proposed O3 zoning provides a better opportunity than the existing R2 zoning for restoration of the historic home on the property.
Are there any questions for staff? Open up a public hearing for comments. Is there anyone here speaking on this item? I'll close the public hearing and I'll ask for a motion. Move for approval on first reading. Motion second. Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Bearfield?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Aye.
Holmes?
Aye.
Porter?
Yes.
Ewing?
Yes.
Meek?
Yes, that motion carries. We'll move to public hearing 2023-924.
Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, providing that the Code of Ordinances be amended by revising Section 28-247 and Chapter 28 zoning of said code, providing that the zoning map shall be changed to the certain property described as Tract 7, Chambers TJ Edition, known as portion of 3126 South 12th Street, shall be changed from R1B district classification and become and be designated in the O3 district classification, providing for penalties, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and finding and determining that the meeting in which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. By a vote of 10-0, Plan Commission recommended approval. The zone change based on the following findings. 1, proposed zoning is keeping with the land use component of the comprehensive plan. The subject property is landlocked and cannot be independently developed without the adjacent property, which is also zoned O3. The public infrastructure is adequate to provide for uses allowed in O3 zoning. Property meets all the area and width requirements for O3 zoning, and the property is located at the intersection of 2 collector roadways, Garden Drive and South 12th Street.
Are there any questions for staff? We'll open a public hearing for comments. Is there anyone here speaking on this item? If not, we'll close the public hearing and I'll ask for a motion.
Move for approval on first reading.
Second. Motion is second. Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Bearfield?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Aye.
Holmes? Porter?
Yes.
Ewing? Meek?
Yes, that motion carries. We'll move to public hearing 2023-925.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, providing that the Code of Ordinances be amended by revising Section 28-247 and Chapter 28 zoning of said code, providing that the zoning map shall be changed to certain property described as a 9.255 acre tract of land situated in the TJ Chambers Survey, abstract number 7, City of Waco, McLennan County, Texas, and being all of the tracts A, B, and C described in a corrective special warranty deed to DSW Ends LLC in Missouri Limited Liability Company is recorded in McLennan County Clerk's file number 2010-008-408 of the official public records in McLennan County, Texas. Tract C further described as Lot 1, Block 1 of the Grays Edition according to the final plat thereof as recorded in Volume 919, page 619 of the deed records of McLennan County, Texas, together with a portion of Lot 1, Block 1 of the Equipment Depot Edition according to the final plat thereof as recorded in Volume 127, page 821 of said tract, known as 4300 South Jack Colgan Expressway, shall be changed from plain unit development in C2 district classification and become and be designated in the C2 district classification, providing for penalties, providing a severability clause, providing a savings clause, and finding and determining that the meeting in which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. By a vote 9-0, Plan Commission recommended approval of the zone change based on the following findings. 1, the proposed zoning is keeping with the land use component of the comprehensive plan. The property meets all area and width requirements for C2, and the proposed C2 zoning is a dominant zoning along I-35 in this area.
Are there any questions for staff? We'll open a public hearing for comment. Is there anyone here to speak on this item? Oh, Mr. Embry.
Good evening. Let me know if you can't hear me. Try to speak up. Nathan Embry, 106 Silver Spur. I am the real estate agent representing the buyer side of this transaction. I'm just here to answer any easy, high-level questions.
Well said. Any questions? Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else here to speak on this item? We will close the public hearing. I'll ask for a motion.
Move for approval on first reading.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Rodriguez?
Aye.
Holmes? Porteroo?
Yes.
Ewing?
Yes.
Meek?
Yes. Motion carries. We'll move to public hearing 2023-926.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, providing that the Code of Ordinances be amended by revising Section 28-247 and Chapter 28 zoning of said code, providing that the zoning map shall be changed so certain property described as Lot 21, Block 2 of the Beverly Place Addition, known as 1710 South 23rd Street, shall be changed from R2 district classification, becoming to be designated into O3 district classification, providing for penalties, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and a finding determined in the meeting in which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. By a vote of 10-0, Plan Commission recommended approval of the request based on the following findings. 1, the proposed zoning is keeping with the land use component of the comprehensive plan. 2, the public infrastructure is adequate to provide for uses. Allowed in O3 zoning district. 3, the property meets all area and width requirements for O3. And 4, the proposed O3 zoning provides a better opportunity than the existing R2 zoning for the restoration efforts on this property.
Are there any questions for staff? We will open a public hearing for comments. Is there anyone here to speak on this item? If not, we'll close the public hearing and I'll ask for a motion.
Move for approval on first reading.
Second. Motion and second. Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Fairfield? Rodriguez? Holmes? Porteroo?
Yes.
Ewing?
Yes.
Meek?
That motion carries. We'll move to public hearing 2023-927.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, abandoning a 15-foot wide alley located in Block 3 of the Morris Addition to the City of Waco, McLennan County, Texas, according to plat thereof recorded in volume 63, page 112 of the deed records in McLennan County, Texas, and consisting of a .067 acres, finding no duty to maintain, authorizing the city manager to execute quitclaim deeds, providing a severability clause, and finding determining that the meeting which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. By a vote of 10-0, Plan Commission recommended approval of abandonment based on the following findings and conditions. Public use of the right-of-way is not required for proper flow of traffic or for emergency vehicle access to the area. And utility access for surrounding properties are not adversely impacted by the abandonment of the right-of-way. And then a sewer line easement must be retained, or sewer line may be relocated at developer's expense for the area of the abandoned right-of-way.
Are there any questions for staff? We'll open up a public hearing for comments. Is there anyone here to speak on this item? If not, we'll close the public hearing and I'll ask for a motion.
Move for approval on first reading.
Second. Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Fairfield?
Yes.
Rodriguez? Holmes? Porteroo?
Yes.
Ewing?
Yes.
Meek?
That motion carries, and we will move to the consent agenda. The following, we'll start with Resolution 2023-930. Is there a motion on this? Move for approval. Second. Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Rodriguez? Holmes? Ewing?
Yes.
Meek?
Yes, that motion carries. I will go for Resolution 2023-929, and I'm going to move that for the votes allotted to the City of Waco, we would give 823 votes to Jim Holmes and 111 votes to Mildred Watkins. Motion is second. Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Fairfield? Rodriguez?
Aye.
Holmes? Porteroo? Ewing? Meek?
Yes, that motion carries. We'll move to 2023-933. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion is second. I do have a card. Dr. Alan Northcutt.
Alan Northcutt, and you do have a handout concerning this waste energy proposal. We certainly support that, and that's a good thing in reducing greenhouse gas emissions. But what I wanted to point out is that that's really a bridge technology. At the end of this, you're still burning a fossil fuel and still releasing greenhouse gas. So the ultimate goal is what's considered zero waste. And cities throughout the country have adopted plans to to end up, to develop zero waste as much as possible. In other words, decreasing the amount of material that goes into the landfill in the first place. That's the only way to totally reduce emissions. A couple of cities in the state of Texas actually are working on this plan. So I wanted to point out that for information. This is not a final solution, this waste energy proposal. Since I have to speak all at once, Resolution 941 on the new fire station number 15. Well, we put rooftop solar on the new fire station on 25th Street, and we should do the same here. The climate crisis hasn't gone away, it's gotten worse. The city of Waco is actually a epicenter for heat waves and drought, so it has a large flat roof. It'd be perfect for solar on this station too, and I believe we should do that. In addition, all new construction needs to be electric. We don't want to have to go back and retrofit gas appliances of any sort. And finally, there's some resolutions there about yard maintenance, ground maintenance, and those machines produce a lot of greenhouse gas emissions. Many cities now have crews for ground maintenance that use all electric mowers and all their machines that they use. In fact, some states have outlawed internal combustion engine mowers and so forth. So in Waco, I'm not aware that there are companies like that, but I want to put this idea out here that we need to be moving in that direction. And if the city could state that it would prefer a company that is all electric, hopefully we would get that type of companies developed here in the city. It'd be another way of reducing our greenhouse gas emissions. I have to point out that to fight the climate crisis, we have to reduce emissions in every sector. We have to always be mindful of this. And I know the city has committed itself to reducing emissions. This is another important way. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Northcutt. Is there anyone else here to speak on this item? We have a motion and a second. Please poll the council.
Bearfield. Rodriguez.
Aye.
Holmes.
Aye.
Ewing.
Yes.
Meek.
Yes, that motion carries. We'll move, I'll ask for a motion on ordinance 2023-935. Move for approval.
Second.
Second, any discussion? Please poll the council.
Bearfield. Rodriguez.
Aye.
Holmes.
Aye.
Ewing.
Yes.
Meek.
Motion carries. The consent agenda will include resolution 2023, excuse me, the consent agenda will include resolution 2023-928 through 963, except for 930, 929, 933, and 935. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
Mayor, I would love to move to approve, just given that I'm legally allowed to. Second.
Second, any discussion? Please poll the council.
Rodriguez.
Aye.
Holmes.
Aye.
Porter.
Yes.
Ewing.
Yes.
Meek.
Carries, and we'll move to ordinance 2023-964.
An ordinance revising Chapter 18, Division 3, Sections 18-163 and 18-167, and repealing Sections 18-164, 18-165, 18-166, and 18-168 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Waco regarding the City of Waco's Texas Municipal Retirement System, TMRS benefits. The number 1, adopting non-retroactive repeating COLAs for retirees and beneficiaries under TMRS Act, Section 853.404F and F1, and number 2, authorizing annually accruing updated service credits and transfer updated service credits. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict therewith, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, providing for inclusion in the code, finding and determining the meeting at which this ordinance is passed, open to the public as required by law, providing for an effective date. This ordinance comes to council on first reading.
Is there a motion?
Move for approval on first reading.
Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Bearfield. Yes. Rodriguez. Aye. Holmes. Aye. Porter.
Yes.
Ewing.
Yes.
Meek.
Carries, we'll move to ordinance 2023-965.
An ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, creating a planned unit development, PUD, changing the zoning classification from O1 and O2 to PUD on certain properties described as Bollinger, DCR, TR Lot A, Block 23, known as 622 North 17th Street, property ID 165086, and Lot 13 in Bollinger, DCTR Lots 8A and 11A, Block 23, known as 601 North 18th Street, property ID 165083, approving the concept plan for the PUD, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for penalties, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and finally determining the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance was approved by a 5-0 council vote on first reading on October 17, 2023.
Is there a motion?
Move for approval on second reading. Motion is second. Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Yes.
Holmes. Borderoot.
Yes.
Ewing. Meek.
Yes, that motion carries. I'll move to ordinance 2023-966.
City of Waco, Texas, providing the Code of Ordinances be amended by revising Section 28-247 and Chapter 28 zoning of said code. For the zoning map shall be changed that certain property described as Lot 7, Block 4, Proctor Springs Edition, known as 2023 North 5th Street, shall be changed from R2 district classification and become and be designated to O3 district classification, providing for penalties, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and finally determining the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance was approved on a council vote on first reading on October 17, 2023.
Is there a motion?
Move for approval on second reading.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Rodriguez.
Aye.
Holmes. Borderoot.
Yes.
Ewing.
Yes.
Meek.
Yes, that motion carries. We'll move to ordinance 2023-967.
An ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, abandoning a 27-foot wide alley and a 15-foot wide alley located adjacent to Lot 18, Block 5, W.H. Turner Edition, as described in Volume 1815, page 676 of the deed records of McLennan County, Texas, and consisting of a 0.150 acres, more or less, said alley described as being a 0.150 acre tract situated in the Tomas de la Vega survey, being all of that called 27-foot wide and that called 15-foot wide alley along the northeast and northwest lines of Lot 18, Block 5 of the W.H. Turner Edition to the City of Waco, McLennan County, Texas. Per plat of said edition recorded in Volume 1815, page 676 of the deed records of McLennan County, Texas. Finding no duty to maintain, authorizing the city manager to execute quitclaim deeds, providing a severability clause, and finally determining the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance is approved by council on first reading on October 17, 2023.
Is there a motion?
Move for approval on second reading.
Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Bearfield. Rodriguez.
Aye.
Holmes.
Aye.
Borderoot.
Yes.
Ewing.
Yes.
Meek.
Yes, that motion carries. So we'll move to ordinance 2023-968.
Ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, providing for the extension of certain boundary limits of the City of Waco, Texas, and the annexation of certain territory consisting of approximately 21.62 acres of land, more or less, situated and being a part of the BB&C Railroad Company Survey, abstract number 157, McLennan County, Texas, and being a part of the called 194.45 acre tract described in a deed to WBW Single Land Investment LLC, Series 104, recorded in document number 2019-028303, and being part of Warren Road of the official public records of McLennan County, Texas, and being located at the intersection of Warren Road and Ritchie Road, and further located within Waco's extraterritorial jurisdiction, which said territory lies adjacent to and adjoins the present boundary limits of the City of Waco, Texas, providing for the designation of medium-density residential office flex as the comprehensive plan and land use designation, and the designation of R3B multiple family residence district zoning, assigning the annexed territory to City Council District 3, establishing and amending City of Waco precincts 51 and 62 to include the annexed territory, directing that the city precinct district map be revised to reflect that change, and providing voting location at any City of Waco vote center, providing that said territory bears pro rata part of taxes entitling inhabitants to all rights and privileges of citizens, and binding inhabitants to acts and laws of the city, adopting a service plan, providing a severability clause, providing for a publishing of the ordinance, providing for penalties, providing a savings clause, and finally determining the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance is approved by council vote on first reading on October 17, 2023.
Is there a motion?
Mayor, I move that we approve on second reading.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Please poll the council.
Bearfield. Rodriguez.
Aye.
Holmes.
Aye.
Borderoot.
Yes.
Ewing.
Yes.
Meek.
Yes, that motion carries, and we'll move to ordinance 2023-969.
Ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, amending Article 4 District Regulations of Chapter 28 zoning of the Code of Ordinances to add accessory dwelling units as a permitted use in RE, R1A, R1B, R1C, R2, R3A, R3B, R3C, R3D, R3E, O1, O2, and O3 zoning districts. Creating a new Division 9 accessory dwelling units, including Section 28-970.5.1 through 28-970.5.3 to Article 5 Supplementary District Regulations of Chapter 28 zoning to provide a purpose, definitions, and design and development standards for accessory dwelling units. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for penalties, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and finally determining the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance is approved by council vote on first reading on October 17, 2023.
Is there a motion?
Can I ask a question, Mayor? Does this zoning of the code ordinances that are adding accessory dwelling units, after we pass it tonight, does it come in effect tonight?
That's a good question.
To all these different zoning districts?
So state law has ordinances come in effect a certain number of days after publication. So it will not be immediately tonight, but it'd be soon thereafter.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a motion?
Move for approval on second reading.
Second.
Any discussion? Please pull the council.
Fairfield.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Aye.
Holmes.
Aye.
Porterud.
Yes.
Ewing.
Yes.
Meek.
Yes, the motion carries. We'll move to ordinance 2023-970.
Ordinance authorizing a developer participation agreement with the WDBW Single Development Group LLC, Series 137, to allow the City of Waco to participate in the total cost of oversizing of improvements, increasing sanitary sewer capacity, necessary to provide adequate capacity for existing and future development within the Village Lake Sanitary Sewer Basin, an amount not to exceed the total amount of $534,648.75, to be paid monthly in an amount not to exceed 40% of this total cost of oversizing per month in accordance with the Texas Local Government Code, sections 212.071 through 212.074, authorizing the city manager to execute any documents in connection therewith, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and finally determining the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance was approved by council on first reading on October 17, 2023.
Is there a motion?
Move for approval on second reading.
Any discussion? Please pull the council.
Yes.
Rodriguez. Holmes.
Aye.
Porterud.
Yes.
Ewing.
Yes.
Meek.
Yes, the motion carries. We'll move to ordinance 2023-971.
An ordinance authorizing a developer participation agreement with Big H Properties LLC to allow the City of Waco to participate in the total cost of oversizing of improvements, increasing capacity to drainage improvements, necessary to provide adequate capacity for existing development within the Harris Creek South Bosque Drainage Basin, in an amount not to exceed the total amount of $622,362.57 to be paid monthly in an amount not to exceed 40% of this total cost of oversizing per month in accordance with the Texas Local Government Code, sections 212.071 through 212.074, authorizing the city manager to execute any documents in connection therewith, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and finally determining the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance was approved by council vote on first reading on October 17, 2023.
Is there a motion?
Move for approval on second reading.
Second. Any discussion? Please pull the council.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Meek.
Yes, the motion carries. Next, we have the hearing of visitors. During the hearing visitors section of the agenda, we provide an opportunity for the public to present concerns or address issues that are not matters for consideration listed on the agenda. As such, council is unable to conduct discussion, but will listen, ask staff to look into concerns, and provide follow-up. Please provide registration information so that staff can contact you if necessary. If you have handouts, please let us know at the beginning of your presentation, and staff will distribute those to council. If you're unable to approach the podium due to physical limitations, a microphone is available to be brought to you. I have two cards. The first one is Elijah Camp Finkel.
Elijah Camp Finkel.
LJ, sorry about that.
LJ Camfinkel, 10011 Amber Circle, Waco, Texas. I have concerns with the new street maintenance fee that goes into effect January 1st, 2024. Basically, my concern is under Texas Tax Code, Chapter 327. There's a provision for municipal sales and use tax for street maintenance. Under Section 327.006, subparagraph B, an election to adopt the tax, the ballot shall be prepared to permit voting for or against the proposition. So my issue is that I haven't had the opportunity as a Waco resident to vote for or against this tax okay, I know you guys are calling it a fee, but I'm calling it a tax, but to vote for or against this fee that's basically going to affect. I would like you guys to consider postponing the implementation of this fee until a ballot measure can be put on whenever the next election is, and the Waco citizens have an opportunity to vote for or against the street maintenance fee. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Next, we have Ephraim Herring.
Ephraim Herring, I live at 1044 Chestnut. August 1st, 2017, I came here to ask about certificate of occupancy. I've been researching this. The last time I got from my attorney, I was told by y'all's attorney that we issued a valid certificate of occupancy that was signed. I have not received that. In my open records, from 2017 to 2022. As I look at your records 20-88, the date on there is, if I remember correctly, is 9/18 of 1986. And then I started thinking, because when I was up in Austin, we had training on the House Bill 3756, which gave, in 2019, which gave the Texas Commission, do your back name on there. We gave it to the Texas State Library and Archives Commission, who is in charge of what you have in front of you, putting out the schedule and requirements for maintaining records. This is 2009. If you read that, it says clearly in there, it says, building permits and certificate of occupancy. Copies of issued permits should be provided. So when I did a local arrest request, the one that was issued I should have got a copy of it. The one I've got is blank, it's not signed. In order for me to get any state legislation or any monies or economic development for my property, it has to have a government issued document. The one from your people y'all supported, from the contractors y'all supported, gave me, doesn't match what you have on file. And the state's not gonna go to the contractor. The state's gonna go to y'all and ask for that document. I also did more research and see section 441-185A, it's in the government code, a library and archives. If you go to that, it tells them when they give them permission to do that. But also, the only way you can change the requirements, the only people can change requirements, in section 41.166 is a state agency other than the commission, the Texas Supreme Court, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals. They require local government to retain records for any other Pacific. So in order to change these rules and regulations, these people got to change it. So all I'm asking for is the signed copy that y'all submitted to y'all contractor that y'all told me about. I have not received a signed copy. And also too, as that one realtor told me, the house is in violation. So where it did, y'all supported. Contractor get that signed copy of that. God bless you and be safe.
Is there anyone else here to speak during the hearing of visitors? If not, we'll close the hearing of visitors, and I'll ask if there's any comments or announcements that council would like to make of community interest.
Mayor, this is Holmes. I'll make one quick comment of item of community interest. I've got one more town hall. We're doing 3 of them. This will be 3rd in the series of 3. It'll be next Monday, November 13th at 6 o'clock at the West Waco Library. We hope to have somebody from the Streets Department, from Waco PD, and the Parks Department there at the West Waco Library. And had really good turnouts at the last 2 town halls at China Spring and West Highway 84. And Jonathan Cook was there. Joel Martinez has been there in the last couple ones. And I appreciate everybody from the city staff that's helping Michelle, City Secretary's office, and your team, Renee, back there. Putting these things together, it's fun. It's good to get that feedback from directly from the citizens. So next Monday night's the last one, November 13th.
Very good.
I just wanted to say, if you are unaware, Waco has the greatest river for rowing this side of the Mississippi, and we are hosting our 2nd annual rowing regatta on Sunday. Last year, it was a huge event. A ton of vendors, a ton of people descended upon the Brazos for morning and afternoon of competition, a lot of great fun on the banks of the Brazos there. So if you have nothing going on Sunday, please go and support that. In addition to that, just wanted to give a quick shout out and kudos to Waco Rowing Company who puts that on, but they have secured the University of Washington to do their off-season or winter training, if you will, here in Waco. If that means nothing to you, I can tell you that the University of Washington is essentially the 90s Chicago Bulls of collegiate rowing. They are the top-tier program in the country. And while they are here, George Clooney's film, The Boys in the Boat, about the 1936 Washington rowing team will be coming out, so we should get some great press from that, too. That's all I had.
Wait, they filmed that movie here?
They didn't film it here. It's about the 1936 team.
Well,
But while
you can
that
still film a
Washington
movie
team-
that takes place in 1936.
While
and
that,
there's-
it's a documentary, but while the current Washington team is here, that movie will be premiering, so.
Got it.
Yeah. So
They
we
will
should get
be
some
here
great press from
while
that.
that's happening.
Yes.
Very cool.
Mayor, one place you could film scenes from that movie would be the new Hotel 1928, a just marvelous reconstructed structure here.
Agreed. On that note, is there any other council comment? If not, we will adjourn this meeting at 7:14 p.m. Thank you, everybody.